Hi, Acadiana. I'm Dave Baker. Your time now 1 o'clock. And of course, as we continue our coverage with the winter weather across the region, we'll be getting back to your regularly scheduled programming here in just a few minutes. But first, we want to go right to Alex Antonowitsch, who is with LUS, and he joins us live this afternoon. Alex, again, thanks for joining us this afternoon. So far, it seems like LUS, at least with the electricity side, has been pretty much okay, right?
Yeah, I mean, we've just had a few service calls, but other than that, everything's been pretty good.
How about water? You said there may have been a few issues there.
Yeah, we've had about 5 to 6 service calls that we had to send people out to help shut off their water, just due to cracked lines or just other water issues. So I think that's something we want to kind of keep going and, moving forward as the weather starts to get colder, that, customers are mindful of any sort of leakage. Try to be careful. You can check your LUS My account. It's in your online account, and it can tell you how much water you're using on an hourly basis. So that's one way you could track it.
As the weather starts to get colder, now that we're kind of past the precipitation side of this winter storm, we're expecting temperatures to drop into the teens. Are you expecting any issues with electricity beyond that? And what can people do to prepare themselves when it comes to the water issues?
I mean, as far as electricity, as long as, our issue would be if trees fell on lines or branches fell on lines, and we have a pretty, robust tree trimming system. And, with the past couple storms we've had, I think it took down a lot of the major trees that would have been an issue now. As far as the water, like I said, you could check out your account online, see if there's any continuous water usage that you're noticing, or just kind of, looking around your home. Opening up some cabinet doors that might be, facing the outside walls to kind of let the heat from your house kind of keep those pipes warm as well, because those are uninsulated. At this point, if you haven't insulated your pipes on the outside, you can still go ahead and give it a shot and do it now. But yeah, you run the risk. So you want to try to protect it as much as you can from the wind, which is actually the part that freezes it the most.
Alex, is it better for folks to get online or call you directly if they have any problems?
We do have a number, 291-5700, so 291-5700. That's our dispatch. You call them if you have any water issues, or if you happen to have any electrical issues, you contact them and they'll be able to help you out.
All right, Alex Antonowitsch with LUS. Thanks for joining us, and we'll be keeping everyone updated when it comes to the power outages and things you need to do as the weather gets colder. I wanted to also point out that the video that we've been showing here throughout is from award-winning photojournalist Eric Bro, and that's some drone video that we have from him. We want to thank Eric for sending that in. Now, as we go ahead and move along, that cold weather continuing across Acadiana, Lafayette Mayor-President Josh Guillory saying that people need to continue exercising caution. He says while the conditions may seem to be improving, there's still ice on the road, and that is a major concern.
Use good judgment, common sense, stay off the roadways. If you don't have to be on the road, don't get on the road. I know it's tempting when everybody's cooped up to get out there and check out everything, but it's not safe to do so. And even as temperatures rise and you see some of the ice melting, there are still patches of black ice on asphalt, which is very dangerous. So stay at home, stay off the roadways, and allow our ambulance services and our police and fire departments to respond accordingly.
And we now have a live look at conditions on some of the Lafayette roadways. I believe we have Ambassador Caffrey right around Vero School Road this time around. And roadway, again, like I said, like we've been saying, it appears to be a little bit better as the sun came out for a while, probably melting things a bit. But do beware, temperatures are still below freezing, and things will be refreezing once again, especially later tonight. Now, we know many of you have seen quite a bit of freezing rain and sleet and snow in many places. Our Kendria LaFleur is in the River Ranch area here in Lafayette and looking at what she found around the neighborhood.
This area is normally really busy with businesses around and restaurants, but most of those are closed because of the weather. You can see there's still some ice on the ground, but there are some people who are still driving around. I spotted a few cars that were passing down this area. Also down on Valley Saloon Road, we're not far from there. I also saw a few kids playing in the snow and enjoying this because, something that we don't normally see around Acadiana.
Thanks, Kendry. Well, winter here in Youngsville this time around, and so far this morning, as far as we move along, KATC will be staying with you throughout the day, live on your streaming devices. Of course, we're going to break into programming if we need to, but we'll be here at the top of the hour every hour for the rest of the day with the forecast as well as sights and sounds from Acadiana. In between those broadcasts, we'll be showing you live traffic cameras from around the area. Just keep your streaming device, whether that's Roku or the Amazon Fire Stick, you keep that on throughout the day. We're also streaming live at KATC.com. Now we're going to go ahead and move on to meteorologist Daniel Phillips, I believe, and he's got to look at the forecast. I was outside just a few minutes ago. The sun was out, things dripping a little bit, but that's probably going to refreeze later tonight, huh?
Yeah, and kind of the problem, you don't want to get complacent there because, you know, with the sun, we have seen a little bit of melting, slushy outside on the roadways now, but keep in mind, temperatures still sitting down in the 20s, 27 in Lafayette, 27 for New Iberia, 26 down over towards Ville Platte. And as that sun starts to get a little bit lower, not going to be able to melt any of that ice anymore, and what you're going to see is what has melted is going to start to slick over. So there is going to be the threat as we go through the night tonight and especially on into tomorrow for a little bit of black ice. In fact, I think roadways may be a little bit worse tomorrow morning than they were today. We're not going to have the active precipitation, but it'll be cold enough to see ice out on the roadways. So that's what we're going to have to look out for. Travel still really not advised through the night and tomorrow. In fact, could be a little while before we kind of get out of this because temperatures may stay back below freezing for quite some time. Now, we've still got some thin clouds out there so far. The precipitation's all moved its way out over towards the east, and as we've kind of warmed up through the day, you see a little bit more in the way of showers and thunderstorms down over towards the Florida Panhandle, taking some of the frozen precip a little bit further north up into Alabama and Mississippi, and a good layer of clouds out there. We should start to clear a little bit as we go through the night. In fact, we've seen the clouds trying to thin out here. Like Dave said, at times we've been able to get a little bit of sunshine, which means that temperatures are going to start to really cool down here as the sun goes down. You're not really going to get much of an insulating layer at all, and we're sending temperatures way down into the mid-teens with wind chills that's going to be down in the single digits. Feel like temperature right now, and this is the wind chill, arguably the more important number here, is coming in right around 16. And believe it or not, for tomorrow morning, probably a solid 10 degrees cooler than this. We'll have temperatures sitting at about 16 degrees with wind chill down to about 4 or 5. Maybe even in some of the more rural parts of Acadiana, you're going to be talking places coming in below zero. So let's break it down. This is the lows that we're looking at here, single digits rather, out for early tomorrow morning. Opelousas with a wind chill of about 4. Ville Platte coming in with temperatures at about 12. You can see the difference here. Opelousas raw thermometer about 10. Wind chill of about 4, maybe even a little bit less than that. Down along the I-10 corridor, coming in around 15, 16 degrees or so for the low. Again, wind chill sits down well in the single digits, down to about 2. I would not be surprised to see some numbers coming in below 0 tomorrow. Very, very cold, serious cold. So if you're in a neighborhood that has lost power, check on your neighbors, especially if they're elderly, a little bit more at risk. Make sure that they've got enough blankets to get through the night. And if you start to experience power outages, the threat for power outages, fairly minimized. Now there's going to be huge demand on the grid to try and heat everyone's homes. So that will be something to watch out for. And if you know your neighbors don't have heating, try and check on them. Make sure they have enough blankets. Make sure that they have what it takes to make its way through the rest of the night. We're still going to do cut-ins at the top of the hour. Chief Meteorologist Rob Perillo in now. He'll be with you for the 2 o'clock hour. Right now it's 108. It's 27 degrees.